Hi sweeties, how are you doing? Welcome to Cimnanya. If this is your first time of coming across this channel, sweetheart, kindly smash that subscribe button, turn on your notifications so you are notified each time I upload, and please give this video a thumb up. I appreciate you all so much, and I am saying a very big shout out to every one of you for the support and love you all are giving me here. I am grateful. Thank you all so much. So today we'll be talking something very important, and it's about white folks are trying to pass bills to whitewash history and erase black leaders, right? And first of all, this bill they were passing, white supremacy is okay, but anything that concerns black people and other people of color, they kind of try to let's rewrite their history and all that. But then there is something, like I keep saying, when people tell you or when people tell you or show you who they are, believe them. Really, there is no need making excuses for them, because as if you watch this video, you will absolutely see they are absolutely or showing their true color, and you really do have to believe this. You don't have to make excuses for them and the rest of it. And the fact that it is also a white person fighting, white people fighting against themselves, over the bills. And you really need to see the kind of horrible bills they want to pass and all that, how they want to whitewash the history and also erase black leaders, the people that have contributed great things to black history and all that. They do not even want their book to be seen anywhere and all that. But then this also is more like a lesson for us to it's time we start writing our own books instead of waiting for them, because most of them write our own book for us. It's time we start writing our own books, telling our own stories and all that, because that, really, it's just really crazy. And if you are a white person and you are supporting this kind of attitude, really, I think you are also part of the problem. And white folks having a hard time, this is really something I just don't understand. But then it is what it is. It's them showing us who they are and the rest of it. And the fact that all these whitewash histories are just going to be taught in school, and they keep lying to people and the rest of it is just something I don't want to wrap my head around. I'm just rolling this clip. We'll come back to talk about it, and let me know what you all think in the comment section. Straight up, I am rolling there.
Why would anyone who believes white supremacy is wrong remove the part of the bill that says white supremacy is wrong? Let me ask it another way. Is it fair
Mr. Tallarico, you asked me a question. You said, do you plan to concur or not concur? Do you plan to call a point of order on this bill?
I'm only a sophomore, but I do know from my 2 terms that questions come from this mic and answers come from that mic.
Actually, Mr.
Mr.
Tallarico, if you look at the House rules, we're allowed to have a discussion.
Mr. Toth, is it fair to say that any bill...
Do you not want to have a discussion? You asked me a question.
Mr. Toth, I know these questions are difficult, but you got to do your best to answer them. Is it fair to say
let's put the insults aside, Mr. Tallarico?
Mr. Toth, is it fair to say that any bill that strikes language condemning racism is a racist bill? Mr. Toth, we can move on to another question. This bill is teaching certain values. In section FA1, the bill mandates that teachers teach an appreciation of participating in civic life, a commitment to the United States and its form of government, and a commitment to free speech and civil discourse. But we are choosing, in fact, you're choosing today not to teach students that white supremacy is morally wrong. So we are just teaching some values and not others in this bill. Is that correct?
Is there anything in this bill, Mr. Tallarico, that precludes the teaching of white supremacy?
Mr. Toth, does the bill mention white supremacy?
Simple question. You made a statement, and I'm giving you an answer. Again, is there anything in this bill that precludes the teaching of white supremacy?
Again, Mr. Toth, I didn't bring this bill, nor would I ever bring this bill as an educator or a person of conscience.
I
want to
understand
ask you, do you think that the removal of this clear and simple language condemning white supremacy reveals that the true purpose of this bill is to teach our students a whitewashed version of American history?
No, absolutely not.
Mr. Toth, I just wanted you know that when there are differences between a House version and a Senate version of a bill, that our Ledge Council creates this little handy document side-by-side comparison. You have this?
Yes, I do.
Mr. Toth, when you look at this side-by-side comparison with our House bill over here, the bill that we all passed, versus the Senate's
what page
version
are you on, Representative?
On this, if you look at this comparison...
I'm sorry, what page are you on?
I'm on page 3, but I'm not asking you about a specific page. When you look at this side-by-side comparison throughout the bill, it reads like a how-to guide in historical whitewashing. Are you aware that this new version of the bill from the Senate removes the writings of Frederick Douglass?
I am.
Are you aware that this new version of the bill from the Senate removes the writings of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.?
Yes.
Are you aware that this new version of the bill from the Senate removes the history of Native Americans?
The way the bill is laid out,
That's a yes or no
because
question,
we are very
Mr. That's a yes or no
because
question,
we are very
Mr.
clear
Are you
that we
aware
could not
this
be
new version of the
conclusive
bill
about every single
removes the
document out
history
there that
of
we
Native
could.
Americans?
I'm going to give you an answer. You're not. This isn't a trial. I'm going to give you an answer.
Okay, I'm ready for the answer.
The way it's set out is so that a teacher can go to different documents in different authors by which to teach from. It's by no means meant to be a conclusive list.
Let me just ask you one more time. Are you aware that this new version of the bill from the Senate removes the history of Native Americans? It's on page 3 of the side-by-side if you don't have it in front of you.
I believe you.
Okay. Are you aware that this new version of the bill removes mentions of Cesar Chavez?
Yes.
Are you aware that this new version of the bill removes mentions of Susan B. Anthony?
Yes, I am.
Yet the new version of the bill from the Senate, this is not the bill we all passed as a House, but the Senate's version, it still includes the writings of Alexis de Tocqueville, and he's not even an American. Could that be because he's a white man?
Not exactly. And let me respond something to you brought up Susan B. Anthony. Are you aware, Representative, that Susan B. Anthony was an abolitionist?
Again, I don't have to answer questions about this bill because
we're having a discussion here, and there's nothing there's nothing about me in the rules not being able to ask you a question.
From what I can see,
were you also aware that she was pro-life?
Mr.
And
Choate,
that she fought against both slavery?
I know these are hard questions, I really do, but I need you to try to answer them. From what I can see, the new version of the bill removes all mentions of people of color and women from the legislation. Is that correct? Mr. Toth.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
So by my count, the new version from the Senate, again, this is not the bill we passed as the House, this is the bill from the Senate. It removes 9 historical figures of color and 6 female historical figures from the bill, which means that all mentions of people of color or women have been removed from this bill. Is that correct?
I'll take your word for it, Representative.
Could an example of white supremacy, which we tried to condemn,
it also has in here the federal, if you look, it also has on here on page 4, it speaks very clearly to the Federal Civil Rights Act of 1964. What was the purpose of that?
Gentleman's time has expired.
Mr. Speaker?
Mr. Tallarico, for what purpose?
I raise a point of order against further consideration of the Senate amendments to House Bill 3979 under Rule 11.
Members, we're not going to have outbursts from the House floor.
Under Rule 11, Section 2 of the House Rules on the grounds that the Senate amendments are not germane to this bill, and Rule 8, Section 3 of the House Rules, and Article 3, Section 35A of the Texas Constitution on the grounds that the bill contains more than one subject.
Please bring your point of order down.
Oh my goodness, I don't even know how I found this video, but man, this is very shocking, but at the same time, I am not surprised. Yes, some will be like, why are you not surprised, man? I have seen worse things, like, I mean, they are doing, but then seeing this one is really like, you know, really shocking. I'm not gonna lie to you, but then it is them, you know what? They know what they are doing, and the fact that this man, he knew what he was doing, and the fact that he did not, like, you know, for the fact that he knew, he said, yeah, he knew what he was doing. He knew most of the bills were like against black people and some other people, but they want to pass this bill. I mean, white supremacy is okay, but they remove anything that would teach, like, you know, the real history, critical race theory, and the rest of it were all like removed. So all they want to, like, you know, read and be taught in just whitewash history. And like, you know, how does such, I don't know, but man, it's really like crazy how they wake up to, like, you know, do things like this, pass bills like this. And some people, I mean, people are also in that floor. I mean, where all these bills are being passed and they are not saying anything. I mean, it's just like wanting to take away somebody's right. And I am there watching them, like, take away people's right. And not, I know how wretched the season it is, and I am not saying anything against it. But everybody, like, we just have to like accept and probably say it is okay. And I love the fact that it is not a black person like tackling or bringing up all this. It is all them, like, white people bringing up this issue and talking about it. And really, according to white folks, no history or contribution was like, there is no, but how do you exactly want to, like, erase some people's history, erase their, like, okay, CRT is like, everything about them is violent and all that. Also, you are also looking for a way to strip them some of their rights and all that. Really, I do not support this. Is bullshit, really. And if you are a white person and you say things like this and you are supporting it, I will lie to you. You are part of the problem, because when you start standing up, against what is wrong about any other race, it doesn't really matter who the person is, but when you start standing out for something that is wrong, trust me, people around you, it is also going to affect them, in the sense that they will not want to do some horrible things where you are, or they probably want to change for good, from being bad people to good people. But people are going to sit down and watch them pass this kind of bill, like restrict people's rights, restrict people's, like, and all that, and they sign it, they pass the bill, and they think it's okay. I keep saying, some white people, or most white people, keep thinking that it is not affecting them because they are not black or people of color like other people. But in the end, when they are done with black people, they definitely will continue with you people, because they won't have any other people to, like, show their wickedness to. Rather, they will start showing it to you, especially white women. The earlier you start standing up for what is wrong, the better for you. And this is where I am going to draw the curtain. And thank you all so much for all the support and love. And see you all in my next video. Bye for now.